A record spins on repeat in a quiet Chicago apartment. The same foxtrot tune, over and over, for 2 straight hours. On the floor a few feet away, a man is bleeding out. The woman who shot him hasn't called anyone yet. She's just listening. Her name is Beulah Annan, born Beulah May Sheriff in Owensboro, Kentucky, in 1899. By 1920, she's already divorced once, remarried to an auto mechanic named Albert Annan, and relocated with him to Chicago, where she takes a job as a bookkeeper at Tenant's Modern Laundry. It's ordinary. Unremarkable. The kind of life the newspapers never write about. Then she meets Harry Kalstedt, a co-worker at the laundry, and the two begin an affair behind Albert's back. On April 3, 1924, Kalstedt comes to the Annans' apartment while Albert is at work. What happens next, even now, depends entirely on which version of Beulah's story you believe, because she will eventually tell 3 different ones. What isn't in dispute, at some point that afternoon, Beulah shoots Harry Kalstedt once. He dies on her apartment floor. She doesn't call the police. She doesn't call an ambulance. Instead, she puts a foxtrot record on the phonograph, a song called Hula Loo, and lets it play over and over, for nearly 2 hours, with a dead man lying a few feet away. When Albert finally comes home from work around 5 o'clock that evening, she tells him she's killed a man who tried to force himself on her. Albert is the one who calls the police. At the station, Beulah gives her first account. Kalstedt attacked her, and she shot him defending herself. Then, under further questioning, the story shifts. She tells investigators that during an argument, she'd revealed she was pregnant, and that she and Kalstedt had both lunged for the gun on the table between them, that it went off in the struggle, not from a deliberate act by either of them. Neither claim matches perfectly with the physical evidence recovered at the scene, and prosecutors quickly zero in on the inconsistency between her stories. Her husband Albert stands by her completely. He empties the family's savings to hire William Scott Stewart, one of the most capable defense attorneys in Chicago, to build her case. The press has already decided the story is irresistible before the trial even begins. Chicago Tribune reporter Maureen Watkins starts covering Beulah's case, along with a similar one running almost simultaneously, a cabaret singer named Belva Gardner, accused of shooting a man in her own car weeks earlier. Watkins dubs Beulah the prettiest woman ever accused of murder in Chicago. The label sticks instantly, and it starts shaping how the public, and eventually the jury, will see her. At trial, Beulah's account shifts one final time. On the stand, she testifies that she told Kalstedt she was pregnant, that he reacted badly, and that in the chaos that followed, they've both reached for the gun. The exact phrase that will later become the title of the definitive book written about her case, and the seed of one of musical theater's most famous lines. Her husband Albert testifies in her defense. So do relatives of Kalstedt himself, called to speak to his character. The jury retires on May 25, 1924. They return in under 2 hours with a verdict, not guilty. Beulah thanks the jury. The courtroom erupts. 24 hours later, one single day after Albert's savings and loyalty helped set her free, Beulah tells reporters she's leaving him. She calls him too slow. They divorce in 1926. Beulah marries twice more in the years that follow. Maureen Watkins leaves journalism behind and turns Beulah's story, along with Belva Gardner's, into a stage play originally titled Brave Little Woman. She renames it Chicago. Beulah becomes the direct basis for Roxy Hart. Beulah Annan dies of tuberculosis in 1928, at 28 years old, for years after the trial that made her famous, and decades before the world would fill Broadway theaters and movie seats to watch a fictionalized version of her walk free all over again. Nearly a century later, scholars examining the surviving inquest and trial transcripts still can't say for certain which of Beulah's 3 stories, if any of them, was actually true. If you want to uncover more dark truths and hidden histories, subscribe to FrameTale HQ, hit the notification bell, and leave your thoughts on this story in the comments below. Until next time, keep searching for the truth. If Beulah told 3 different versions of what happened and a jury still acquitted her in under 2 hours, do you think the verdict was about the evidence, or about who the jury saw in front of them?